Hey everyone, welcome back. So welcome to a Wednesday, and things got ugly today. I mean, after Powell spoke, things just got nasty. So we're going to take a look at what's going on, obviously, in the markets. As far as what happened today, markets fell pretty sharply here towards the end of the day. So did the miners as well. We'll take a look at what's going on there. We do have a couple of stories to talk about, obviously, which is the Fed rates increase 25%, 25 basis points. So we're going to look at that, what he had to say in that. And then we also have another story here. Where is it? There it is. Coinbase. Coinbase got warned by the SEC of potential security charges. This is a bunch of crap, I think, a bunch of bull. We'll take a look at it. It's I'm PO'd about this, but we'll take a look at it. Okay, so as always, you guys know the drill here, not financial advice for entertainment only. Do your own research, and I'm investing in finding coins and companies for full disclosure. And if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously. So let's get into it here in the charts. So S&P finished out the day down 1.65% to 3,936. Dow Jones was down 1.63% to 32,030. NASDAQ was down 1.37% to 12,567. Bitcoin finished out the day here, was down it's down 3.13% to a close of 27,325. We did hit a high of 28,937. We broke above our resistance line here at 28,600 roughly. We didn't stay up there very long though, but we did break above it, so that's a good thing there. And right now we're kind of down a little bit as well. We're down 0.32% to 27,238. Good thing is RSI has fallen down a little bit here on the daily chart. 4-hour chart, same thing, has fallen down nicely. If you look at the RSI here at 46, last time we were back here, price was much lower at that point. It was only at 20,500. We are, well, quite a bit up from that. We are about 7,000 up from there. So that's a good sign. So I think we're going to have a little bit of a break here, reevaluate things, and I think we should continue the upward trend here. But the market just got spooked today. On the 1-hour chart, we can see here also that the RSI went into the oversold territory. It is right now at 39. Price has been kind of coming down here. RSI has been kind of flat. That's leading to me to believe we might be coming down a little bit more here before everything is said and done here. If that happens, I don't think it's going to be too bad, but we can see here that the RSI last time was at this level. Price at that point was at 24,000. So we're still way up on price on that. But if the price does fall a little bit here, our next support line is going to be at 23,122. I don't know if we're going to fall that far. We may actually fall to our 200 weekly moving average, which is now at 25,388. That's kind of where I would be looking for Bitcoin to possibly bounce off of that if we are to fall. Okay, so that's Bitcoin there. Ethereum, if we look at this one as well, we can see here that it is now, well, today it was down 3.77% to a close of 1,739. It did reach a high of 1,823. RSI is down on it as well on the daily chart. 4-hour chart is also down. Last time it was back here in price, way down at 1,437. So that's good there. RSI on the 1-hour chart is at 36 right now. Last time it was back here. Price is about the same on this one. So it's looking a little bit more flat on Ethereum. So like I said, we might be coming down a little bit more here, which is going to be good. We're going to have a little healthy pullback on it before we continue going up and possibly battling with the 30,000 mark. Okay. Next, let's take a look at the miners. So the miners were actually doing pretty good today, all the way up till 2 p.m. Eastern time. And then when the Fed came out and said those magical words, the miners started falling pretty hard here from that. So NA was down 3.66% to 34 cents. Argo was down 6.11% to $1.69. Let's take this up to the daily chart, make it a little bit easier, and zoom that in. We can see what's going on. BitDigital was down 8.33% to $1.32. Bitfarms was down 12% to 91 cents. Cypher was down 18% to $2.05. CleanSpark was down 9.76% to $2.68. Cores was down 10.73% to 30 cents. DigiHost was down 9.49% to $1.43. DMG was down 9.94% to 21 cents. Greenidge was down 5.23% to 41 cents. Hive was down 8.21% to $3.02. Hut was down 12.5% to $1.75. Iris Energy was down 11.45% to $2.94. Marathon was down 12.29% as well to $7.78. Mawson was down 8.57% to $3.20. Riot was down 10.69% to $8.10. Soluna was down 6.73% to $2.27. Stronghold was down 5.63% to 57, and TerraWolf was down 0.94%, probably down one of the ones that was down the least here, down to 73 cents on the day. But you can see the candles that we had on the day, a lot of them peaked a lot higher, and then they came back down in the last couple hours of the trading day. Okay, so let's take a look at the network hash rate really quick, see what's going on there. And if we refresh it, see what's happening there. RSI on the 7-day average did come down a little bit. RSI, the network hash rate came down a little bit to 320 million. On the 7-day average, on the 1-day average, it spiked up a little bit here to 344 million right now. Okay, trend is still going up. So let's get into our first story here, which is going to be on the Fed. So Federal Reserve raises interest rates 0.25% to highest level since 2007 amid bank crisis. And here's what we got. The Federal Reserve raised the target range for its benchmark interest rate by 0.25% on Wednesday as a battle of stubborn inflation and banking crisis, which has paused the central bank into taking its most significant emergency actions since the onset of the pandemic. And in its statement, the Fed said inflation remains elevated and that the central bank remains highly attentive to inflation risks, while banking issues could cause credit conditions to tighten and weigh on economic growth. So that statement right there caused credit conditions to tighten. It wasn't caused by credit conditions that the banks went under. It was mostly because they were buying T-bills and things like that were out further, and they were in the, underwater on those if they sold them right now. That was the problem, lack of liquidity, and not because of credit. So that's kind of concerning that they're saying that. So they're going to possibly make it tighter for us, for the regular individuals, for businesses and everything else, to put a squeeze on us, not only through higher interest rates, but also through tightening the credit conditions. The U.S. banking system is sound and resilient, is what they said. And then recent developments are likely to result in tighter credit conditions for households and businesses and to weigh on economic activity, hiring, and inflation. The extent of these effects is uncertain, so we don't know what they're going to require of the banks for credit. Notably, the Fed set the stage for ending its rate hiking cycle, doing away with language for ongoing rate increases and interest rates. So they are going to have maybe one more rate increase possibly before they kind of pause it a little while and see how things end. We'll also see where things end up in the next couple of months. So was kind of expected to be the 25 basis points that we did get. We talked about this in yesterday's videos and the prior videos as well, where it looks like it was going to be 25 basis points at about 3 weeks ago. They were saying it's going to be possibly 50 basis points. We didn't get that. We got the 25. I think some were expecting a pause. We didn't get that. That's why the markets kind of reacted the way they did. Okay, so that's it. And then the only other story that we really have here is Coinbase. So if you're on Twitter at all, check out Coinbase. They had a full tweet storm on this, along with their in-house attorney or lawyers, legal counsel, had a full tweet storm about that. That was actually kind of interesting to read as well. A lot of good tidbits in here, but basically, Coinbase was warned by the SEC of a potential securities charges. What those charges are and for what, they don't know. And it's kind of unfortunate. So here's the details. The Securities and Exchange Commission issued crypto exchange Coinbase a Wells notice warning the company that it identified potential violations of U.S. security laws. Coinbase shares fell nearly 12% in extended trading hours after the news broke on Wednesday, adding to an 8.16% drop during the regular trading hours. And then here's a quote. So based on discussions with the staff, the company believes these potential enforcement actions would relate to aspects of the company's spot market, staking services, Coinbase Earn, Coinbase Prime, and Coinbase Wallet. Coinbase said in a regulatory filing, the potential civil action may seek injunctive relief, disgorgement, and civil penalties. All right, we don't know what those are going to entail, but they do have some time to respond to this. Let's see here. A Wells notice is typically one of the final steps before the SEC formally issues charges. It generally lays out the framework of the regulatory argument and offers the potentially accused an opportunity to rebut the SEC's claims. So they do have some time. I think it's like 30 days or something like that to respond to this. And here's a tweet from Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase. So he went into the whole thing. You can check it out on Twitter. I'm not going to go through it all. But today, Coinbase received a Wells notice from the SEC focused on staking and asset listings. A Wells notice typically precedes an enforcement action, which is true. And then Coinbase described the investigation as cursory and said that the Wells notice provided relatively little information about potential violations, which I read the notice, and it doesn't say what the problem is, what the issue is, and it's kind of a gray area. You're going to be basically, we're going after you, but you don't need to know why. And it's kind of frustrating on that part. Although we don't take this development lightly, we are very confident in the way we run our business. The same business we presented to the SEC in order for us to become a public company in 2021. Coinbase Chief Legal Officer Paul Grewal said in a blog post. So this is also kind of frustrating as well. They went through the whole process through the SEC for their IPO. They laid out everything that they're doing in that, everything from the coins that they're choosing, things like that, the processes and everything. SEC at that time said, sure, go ahead. Go ahead and issue your IPO. You're good to go. Now, a couple years later, they're like, we see some faults in your processes possibly, but they're not saying what those faults are. So it's very frustrating. The company said that until the resolution of any legal processes, the exchange's offerings would continue to operate as usual. So they are going to take this to court. Obviously, this is not the end of it, but they are going to operate in the meantime as if nothing has changed. So that's good there. And then we are prepared for this disappointing outcome and confident in the legality of our assets and services. Graywall said in a statement, if needed, we welcome a legal process to provide the clarity we have been advocating for and to demonstrate that the SEC simply has not been fair or reasonable when it comes to engagement on digital assets, which is also true, right? If you want people to comply, you have to put out the framework for them to comply with. If you don't put out a framework, how can they comply, right? So there's that. Guru and Coinbase is looking for more regulatory clarity. Tell us the rules and we will follow them. He said, give us an actual path to register and we will register the parts of our business that need registering, which is exactly what they need to know, right? Without being told what it is, how can you fix something? So that is it. This is just the SEC, I think, going bonkers. They don't know how to handle all this new technology, how to handle everything that's going on with it. So it is frustrating. Hopefully this will get resolved. It's not going to get resolved anytime soon. It's going to take months, years possibly before this all winds down and gets settled. There's also other places that they're going after. They're going after Paxos. They're going after Gemini, things like that. So it's going to be a battle going forward. But until they actually provide some clarity, it's going to be a court battle. Hopefully the courts can possibly then either tell the SEC they got to get something on the books, get it figured out, get some rules made up, or we're going to be in this kind of boat for a while. Okay? So that is it. Not much going on today. Well, a lot going on today. Today was a pretty bad day. But as far as the miners are concerned, there's not much news going on right now. We'll see what happens later on this week. The miners are still in good shape. Bitcoin's still over 27,000. We'll see if we can maintain that. And we'll just plow through this, right? This is kind of, we've seen this before. We've been through this before as well. This isn't the first time where you have FUD, everything else that's going to bring Bitcoin down a little bit. But overall, we should continue to go up in price over the long term, right? This is not a one-day trade. This is for months, years potentially that we are working towards, okay? So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great night.